Hey folks, Paul Condry here. Great to be with you. Welcome to the 2020, the 14th annual Griddy's event. Wow, I'm glad we're here today with you. Thanks to our corporate sponsors who are helping us put this together, including our friends at the Indianapolis Colts, our longtime friends at Teachers Credit Union, the United States Marine Corps, the Regional Radio Sports Network, the Indiana Football Digest, and On God's Team Ministries. Thanks to our amazing staff, Kim Hoosier, Tanya Condry, Dante Stanton, Mike Fleshman, Leah Condry, Matt Copsey, Mike Knezovich. Just so thankful to have these guys a part of our team. As many of you know, our goal right from the beginning in 1992 was to positively promote the student athlete. We've never deviated from that dynamic one iota. So here we are. This is our fireside chat. For you older folks in the audience, you're going to remember who FDR is. For those of you who are not in my wheelhouse, if you will, FDR, go to Google, figure it out. But we're here because of COVID-19. Let me state this very clearly. We miss you greatly. We miss your voices. We miss your smiles. We miss your hugs. So how do you replicate an experience that is meant to be live and in person? Plain and simple, you can't. For those of you joining us for the first time, this isn't even remotely close to what you're going to get at an on-live Griddy's event. With limited resources, we'll have to do our best. But as many of you know, who have experienced the Griddy's before, whether it be the videos, the tributes, the endorsement, and the 1,000s of photos that go on during dinner at the Griddy's event, that in itself is an experience. We miss the photo ops with you all, the selfies we take together, and those pose pictures at the Griddy's podium. We just miss all that. This year's been a tough year for many of us in our football family. We've taken some pivotal losses. I'll miss my dear friends, Phil Bowsman at West Washington High School, Mike Owen, Evansville Central, our dear friend Paul Logan at North Central High School in Indianapolis, Tippecanoe Valley's Jeff Shriver, lost all those great football guys, and of course, our own regional radio sports network team lost the legendary Ken Hurt, the original Big Hurt. We celebrate the ongoing miraculous recovery of our own Jason Kuntz. After another brain surgery that left him nearly dead, I hope you'll read his road to recovery and his story in the 2020 Indiana Football Digest, or check it out on our Facebook page. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, the Colts, Teachers Credit Union, the United States Marine Corps, the Regional Radio Sports Network, the Indiana Football Digest, and On God's Team Ministries. And once again, thanks to our amazing tech team, Kim Hoosier, Dante Stanton, Mike Fleshman, for the work they did not only on the 2020 Indiana Football Digest, but also here on the Griddy's. Once again, I need to point out, make sure you pick up a copy of the 2020 Indiana Football Digest. It's out at select bookstores or online at www.indianafootballdigest.com, or check your local high schools. So on behalf of my family to your family, let's get the 2020 Griddy's underway. Once again, I'm Paul Condry. God bless you all. And as always, Semper Fidelis.
As we get started with our 2020 Griddy Awards presentation video, we want to thank our sponsors, starting with our partner, the Indianapolis Colts, who has been with us now for 14 seasons of the Griddy Awards. We'd also like to thank another sponsor that's been with us from the beginning, Teachers Credit Union, Indiana's largest credit union. Call them at 1-800-552-4745. And our Griddy Awards this year are also being brought to us by Qubit Networks, moving data fast and safe at qubitnet.com, by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. Visit marines.com for more information today. By On God's Team Ministries, by the Regional Radio Sports Network. You can find us on the web at rrsn.com or call us at 574-299-1814. By JSI Steel Fabricators. Visit them at 2862 North US 35 in Winnemac or call them at 574-946-4664. And a big thank you as well to Donald Smith, CPA, the sharpest pencil in town in Lowell, Indiana. You can call him at 219-696-1040, just like the tax form, or visit him at 1203 East Commercial Avenue in Lowell. All right, let's get our award presentation started with the 2019 state runners-up.
Hi, this is Matt Copsey with the Regional Radio Sports Network and the Indiana Football Digest. I'm here to announce the recipients of the class runner-ups finishes from last year. In Class 1A, Indianapolis Lutheran. Class 2A, Eastbrook. Class 3A, Heritage Hills. Class 4A, East Noble. Class 5A, Valparaiso. And Class 6A, Center Grove. Hi, this is Matt Copsey with the Regional Radio Sports Network and the Indiana Football Digest. I'm here to announce the recipients of the 2019 state champions. In Class 1A, Lafayette Central Catholic. Class 2A, Western Boone. Class 3A, Indianapolis Bishop Chatard. Class 4A, Evansville Memorial. Class 5A, New Palestine. And Class 6A, Carmel.
Welcome you back here to the Griddies. It's time to announce our 2019 Coaches of the Year being presented by Teachers Credit Union. Our Class 1A Coach of the Year is Brian Ney, Lafayette Central Catholic. Things were definitely better the second time around for the Mooresville High School and Franklin College product. After going 5-7 in his first campaign, he worked his magic to lead the Knights to a 12-3 record, including 11 straight wins to close out the 2019 campaign and the program's 8th state championship. Our Class 2A Coach of the Year, presented by Teachers Credit Union. From Lewis Cass High School, Jeff Phillips. Before deciding to step down after the 2019 season, this Franklin College graduate guided his alma mater to an 11-2 record and the school's first sectional title since 2012. In his 4 seasons with the Kings, he compiled a 26-21 mark and a 12-year record of 72-52 with stops at Tippecanoe Valley and Oak Hill. Our Class 3A Coach of the Year is Rob Doyle, Indianapolis Bishop Chatard. The third time was certainly the charm for this Andrin and DePauw University standout, as the Trojans claimed their state-best 14th state championship. The Trojans last year finished 14-1. The Class 4A Coach of the Year, presented by Teachers Credit Union, is Luke Amstutz from East Noble High School. The Carroll, Fort Wayne, and Tri-State alumnus enjoyed quite a run in 2019 by leading the Knights to a sectional, regional, and semi-state championship and a state runner-up finish in finishing with a record of 14-1. Prior to coming to East Noble, he spent 4 seasons at Angola High School. Our Class 5A Coach of the Year is being presented in part by Teachers Credit Union. From Valparaiso High School, Bill Marshall. This Warwick Valley, New York, and Valparaiso University product has enjoyed quite a 2-year run with the Vikings. After reaching the 6A semi-state in 2018, he helped the Vikings go 13-1 and go one step further this fall and earned a state runner-up finish at VHS. Our Class 6A Coach of the Year, presented by Teachers Credit Union, is John Hebert from Carmel High School. The good times continued for this Purdue University graduate as he guided the Greyhounds to an 11-3 record and their second state title, another one coming in 2016 during his 5-year tenure. Since taking over for his alma mater in 2015, the program has won 5 sectional, 5 regional, and 3 semi-state championships. Our 2019 Coordinators of the Year, presented by Teachers Credit Union. Let's start with the offense, with Pat Shanley of Lafayette Jefferson High School, also the head coach. During his 4-year stint at the controls, this Rensselaer Central and Purdue product has compiled an outstanding 34-8 record. This past season, the Broncos, which finished 9-1, averaged 52 points a game, racked up 258 yards passing a game, and 237 yards per contest. Our Defensive Coordinator of the Year, presented by Teachers Credit Union, is Travis Boone of Western Boone High School. This 1998 graduate orchestrated a unit which surrendered only 11.5 points a game, gave up only 55 yards rushing a game, and only 90.5 yards passing per game, and leading the Stars to the state championship game. Our 2019 Lifetime Achievement Award, which is being presented in part by our friends at the United States Marine Corps, goes to none other than Fishers High School coach Rick Wimmer. The Huntington North and University of Indianapolis product recently stepped down after a 14-year run where he compiled a 99-61 record. Guided the Tigers to the 2010 Class 5A state championship during his amazing 37 years on the sideline, which included stops at Maryville, Zionsville, and Greenwood. He registered 263 wins and only 144 losses. He also won a state championship while he was at Zionsville in 1987. Once again, congratulations to our good friend Rick Wimmer, Fishers High School, on receiving the 2019 Lifetime Achievement Award.
Our 2019 Griddy's Excellence in Media Award goes to Sam King of the Lafayette Journal and Courier. This Frankfort native and Indiana State graduate has been covering a variety of high school, college, and professional sports at the publication since January of 2008. In addition to receiving his master's degree from Indiana University, he also worked at the Journal Review in Crawfordsville.
Our 2019 Jason Kuntz Badge of Courage Award goes to 2 great friends of the Indiana Football Digest and the Indiana Football Coaches Association and Indiana football for all intents and purposes. Both lost their lives this past year to cancer. Our good friend Mike Owen from Evansville Central High School, where he was an outstanding football coach, great tennis coach. As a matter of fact, spent over 40 years at the Evansville school. In fact, he and his mother are the only mother-son pair to be inducted into the Indiana Tennis Hall of Fame. He was a winner earlier of the Breyfogle Spirit of Sport Award just a season ago. Mike passed away on December 16th at the age of 66 after a long battle with leukemia. Our other recipient is Jeff Schreiber from Tippecanoe Valley High School. This Rochester High School and Purdue University graduate fulfilled his dream of being a teacher and coach for nearly 3 decades with the Vikings, along with serving as the team's head coach from 2006 to 2012. He also led the unified flag football team to a state runner-up finish in 2018 and a sectional crown in 2019. After fighting a short, courageous battle with liver cancer, he passed away on December 19th at the age of 53. Once again, our recipients this year for the Jason Kuntz Badge of Courage Award is presented to the family of Jeff Schreiber, Tippecanoe Valley High School, and Evansville Central family of Mike Owen.
Hello, my name is Al Breyfogle. I'm here to present the Brad Breyfogle Spirit of Sport Award at this year's Griddies. The award was named for my son, Brad, who passed away at the age of 41 a couple years ago due to complications from surgery. He was given 4 years to live after the original problem happened, and he actually lived 9 years. He was able to do some things that the doctor said he couldn't do. He was able to walk his son down the track on senior night, which was a very emotional night for the entire family. This year's winner of the Brad Breyfogle Spirit of Sport Award is Mr. Filip Bowsman from West Washington. The Salem High and Indiana University product enjoyed a successful 13-year run where he went 95-52 and led the Senators to Class 1A sectional crowns in 2012, 2015, 2019, and a regional title also in 2019. Unfortunately, the corporation's athletic director passed away on November 25, 2019 at the age of 43 from complications brought on by a stroke due to a blood clot. We'd like to congratulate the Bowsman family on this award.
The 2019 Indiana Football Digest and Regional Radio Sports Network Players of the Year at the Griddies this year are Class 1A, Marcus McFadden, Indianapolis Lutheran. This 5'11", 195-pound, all-state and primetime 25-pound running back played a big role in the Saints' 13-1 run to the Class 1A state runner-up finish, along with compiling 267 rushes for 2,167 yards with 43 touchdowns. He also came up with 97 tackles and 3 quarterback sacks. Class 2A, Player of the Year from Western Boone High School, 6'1", 175-pounder, Spencer Wright. This all-conference, all-state, and primetime 25 quarterback was a major contributor for the 14-1 Stars in their run to their second straight Class 2A crown. In addition to going 106 of 159 for 1,752 yards with 24 touchdowns, this quarterback also ran 83 times for 555 yards and 14 scores. Our Class 3A Player of the Year is from West Lafayette High School, quarterback Kyle Adams. A primetime 25, all-area, all-state, and all-conference choice, this 6', 180-pounder completed 294 of his 407 attempts for 3,938 yards with 55 touchdowns. He also rambled 63 times for 484 yards with 8 scores for the 2018 3A state champion Red Devils, who this year finished 9-3. Our Class 4A Player of the Year from Evansville Memorial High School, Brock Combs. In addition to come up with 82 tackles, 15 and a half quarterback sacks, 2 interceptions. The 6'1", 220-pound All-State, All-Conference, and Primetime 25 selection had 70 carries for 576 yards with 8 total touchdowns for the Class 4A state champion Tigers, who finished at 13-1. Our Class 5A Player of the Year from New Palestine High School, running back Charlie Spegal. This 5'11", 225-pound All-State, All-Conference, and Primetime 25 runner finished his brilliant career as the state's all-time leading rusher and scorer, recording 330 carries for 3,168 yards and 55 touchdowns for the Class 5A state champion Dragons. Class 6A Player of the Year from Carmel High School, Ty Wise. This 6'2", 225-pound All-State, All-Conference defender was a key contributor for the Class 6A state champion Greyhounds with 112 tackles, 5 quarterback sacks, 2 interceptions, and 3 fumble recoveries.
This is Vince Gray of the Regional Radio Sports Network and the Indiana Football Digest presenting the 2019 Big School All-State Team. Ryan Brandt, defensive back, Angola High School. The 6'1", 202-pound All-Conference, All-Area, and All-State standout was a two-way threat for the Hornets. In addition to tallying 54 tackles, the 2019 Primetime 25 choice also ran for over 600 yards with 8 touchdowns. Cole Brevard, defensive lineman, Carmel High School. An All-State, All-Conference, and Primetime 25 selection, this 6'3", 280-pounder had a big part in helping the Greyhounds capture the Class 6A championship with 46 tackles. Jeffrey Brown, linebacker, Fishers High School. The 6'2", 225-pound All-State, All-Conference, and Primetime 25 member recorded 96 tackles and 3 interceptions, including 1 return for a touchdown for the Tigers, who finished 7-3. Mark Brownlee, running back, Elkhart Central. The 5'11", 215-pound All-State and All-Conference workhouse proved to be a force for the Blazers by scampering 275 times for 2,073 yards with 32 scores and catching 17 passes for 207 yards and a touchdown. Brock Combs, defensive lineman, Evansville Memorial. Named to the Primetime 25, this 6'1", 220-pound All-State and All-Conference selection was a key contributor for the Tigers in their run to the Class 4A state championship. Along with racking up 82 tackles and 15.5 quarterback sacks with 2 interceptions, he also ran 70 times for 576 yards with 8 total scores. Deontay Craig, defensive lineman, Culver Academy. Along with being a force on the front line for the Eagles, the 6'4", 240-pound All-State and Primetime 25 choice was also a major contributor to the 2018 Class 3A state championship and 2019 Class 3A state runner-up basketball teams. Ethan Crowell, offensive lineman, Center Grove. The 6'5", 305-pound All-Conference and All-State selection paved the way for the Class 6A runner-up Trojans, where they accumulated more than 4,300 yards of total offense. Braden Evans, wide receiver at Mooresville. In addition to hauling in 50 receptions for 842 yards with 8 touchdowns, the 6'1", 200-pounder also had 22 carries for 237 yards and 2 scores for the 2-time Class 4A sectional champion Pioneers. Josh Fryer, offensive lineman, Beech Grove. The 6'5", 300-pound All-Conference selection showed why he was worthy of being named to the Primetime 25 by helping the Hornets roll up 28 or more points on 5 separate occasions. Richard Hamilton, wide receiver, North Central. The 6'2", 178-pound All-State and All-Conference choice came up with 46 catches for 712 yards and 12 touchdowns for the Panthers. Gus Hartwig, offensive lineman, Zionsville. A member of the Primetime 25 All-State and All-Conference teams, this 6'5", 300-pounder opened the door for the Class 6A Sectional Championship Eagles to register more than 4,000 total yards. Randy Holtz, offensive lineman, Fort Wayne Schneider. Another Primetime 25 All-Conference and All-State selection, the 6'7", 312-pound standout was one of the forces who helped the Panthers register their 45th straight winning campaign. Maxon Hook, defensive back, New Palestine. The 6'2", 189-pound All-Conference and All-State selection was a key contributor to the Dragons in their run for their second Class 5A state championship with 25 catches for 447 yards and 7 touchdowns. He also had 90 tackles on defense and 2 interceptions. Jeremiah Hauer, wide receiver, Maryville. The 180-pound All-State and All-Conference choice led the Pirates to the Class 6A sectional and regional crowns with 54 receptions for 987 yards and 8 touchdowns. Nathaniel James, defensive lineman, Avon. A primetime 25 selection, as well as a member of the All-State and All-Conference teams, this 6'1", 255-pound standout came up with 71 tackles, 5 quarterback sacks, and a fumble recovery for the Orioles. Chase Ketterer, quarterback, New Prairie. Chosen to the Primetime 25 All-Conference and All-State teams, the 6'1", 195-pounder was 38 for 75 for 775 yards with 10 touchdowns. He ran for 307 times for 2,496 yards and 33 scores for the Class 4A sectional champion Cougars. Defensive lineman, New Palestine. The 6'4", 242-pounder came up with an All-State and All-Conference accolades by coming up with 67 tackles, 7 quarterback sacks, and 2 forced fumbles for the 2018 and 2019 Class 5A state champion Dragons. Martez Lewis, offensive lineman, Maryville. The 6'7", 320-pound All-Conference and All-State choice was instrumental in helping the Pirates to capture the 6A sectional and regional championships and recorded over 4,500 yards of total offense. Shiloh Means, defensive back, Indianapolis Cathedral. This 5'11", 195-pound standout garnered All-State and All-Area honors by recording 89 tackles, 4 interceptions, and causing a pair of fumbles for the Class 5A sectional champion Irish. Jason Mavis, kicker from Warsaw. The 6', 235-pound All-State, All-Conference, and All-Area member helped the Tigers earn their first 6A sectional championship by converting all 62 extra point attempts. He was 6 for 12 in field goals, averaging 33 yards every time he punted. Parker, defensive back, East Noble. In addition to recording 91 tackles, 5 interceptions, and 5 fumble recoveries, the 6'2", 185-pound All-State and All-Conference choice was also 235 for 378 for 3,110 yards with 39 touchdowns. He also rushed 193 times for 1,363 yards and 18 scores for the Class 4A state runner-up Knights. Cameron Rogers, linebacker, Homestead. A member of the All-Conference, All-Area, and All-State teams, this 6', 210-pounder tallied 81 tackles and 2 fumble recoveries to go along with 27 catches for 550 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Class 6A sectional champion, Spartans. Ben Scott, offensive lineman, Valparaiso. The 6'5", 310-pounder was an All-State and All-Conference choice for the Class 5A runner-up Vikings, which rolled up over 5,000 yards of total offense. Charlie Spegal, running back, New Palestine. The 5'11", 225-pound All-State All-Conference and primetime 25 member became the state's all-time leading rusher and scorer by racking up 330 carries for 3,168 yards and 55 touchdowns for the two-time defending Class 5A state champion Dragons. Ty Wise, linebacker, Carmel. This 6'2", 225-pound All-State and All-Conference choice had a part in the Greyhounds winning the Class 6A title with 112 tackles, 5 quarterback sacks, 2 interceptions, and 3 fumble recoveries.
Hi, I'm Mike Fleischman with the Regional Radio Sports Network, and I'm here to present the winners of the 2019 Small School All-State Award. Dante Atkins, Indianapolis Lutheran, a defensive back. In addition to coming up with 83 tackles and 3 interceptions, the 5'9", 170-pound All-State performer also ran 52 times for 266 yards, with 3 scores for the Class 1A state runner-up Saints, who finished 13-1. Alex Baker from Eastbrook, a defensive lineman. This 6'5", 190-pound all-conference and all-state choice helped the 12-3 Panthers to a second straight Class 2A state runner-up finish with 44 tackles and an interception. He also caught 7 passes for 132 yards with 3 scores. Clay Campbell, a defensive back from Jimtown. Along with coming up with 100 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 3 fumble recoveries, the 6'5", 205-pound All-State and All-Conference performer also completed 50 of 117 passes for 762 yards, with 6 scores, and rushed 89 times for 327 yards, with 8 touchdowns for the 7-5 Jimmies. Mark Doyle, an offensive lineman from Heritage Hills. The 6'3", 305-pound all-conference and all-state selection opened the door for the Class 3A state runner-up Patriots, who finished 14-1, to roll up over 4,000 yards rushing and almost 5,000 total yards of offense. Dylan Philip, a defensive lineman from Southwood. The 6'2", 255-pound all-state and all-conference performer rolled up 52 tackles, 2 quarterback sacks, and a fumble recovery for the 10-1 Knights. Casey Foster, an offensive lineman from Western Boone. This 6'2", 270-pound all-state and all-conference choice was responsible for the back-to-back Class 2A state champion Stars, rolling up more than 5,000 all-purpose yards, finishing 14-1. Jay Higgins, a linebacker from Brebeuf Jesuit. The 6'2", 215-pound all-state choice recorded an astounding 151 tackles and 4 pass deflections to go along with 26 receptions for 329s and 4 touchdowns for the 7-3 Braves. Joey Humphrey, a linebacker from Lewis Cass. This 6'1" tall, 205-pound, 2-time All-State, All-Area, and All-Conference performer registered 136 tackles, 2 interceptions, and scored a pair of touchdowns for the Class 2A sectional champion Kings, who finished 11-2. He also added 24 catches for 568 yards and 6 touchdowns. Peyton Knight, an offensive lineman from Indianapolis Lutheran. In addition to leading an offense which rolled up more than 5,000 total yards, the 6'1", 210-pound all-state standout also came up with 85 tackles for the Class 1A state runner-up Saints, who finished 13-1. Ethan Lowry, a linebacker from Heritage Christian. The 6'3", 225-pound all-state choice came up big for the Class 2A sectional champion Eagles, who finished 11-2. He recorded 90 tackles, 13 quarterback sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception. Pat Mastrian, a defensive back for Indianapolis Bishop Chatard. This 6'1" tall, 185-pound all-state performer helped the Trojans finish 14-1 and claim the Class 3A state title with 5 interceptions, including 4, which were returned for touchdowns and 1 fumble recovery. Marcus McFadden, a running back from Indianapolis Lutheran. The 5'11", 195-pound All-State and Primetime 25 selection rushed 267 times for 2,167 yards, with 43 touchdowns to help the 13-1 Saints to a Class 1A state runner-up finish. He also racked up 97 tackles and 3 quarterback sacks. Evan Munn, a linebacker from Lafayette Central Catholic. The 5'11", 180-pound all-conference and all-state choice helped the 12-3 Knights to the Class 1A state championship with 157 tackles, 9 quarterback sacks, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries. He also added 33 carries for 188 yards and 3 scores. Miguel Ortiz, a defensive lineman from Mishawaka, Marion, an all-conference and all-state selection. This 5'11", 235-pounder registered 102 tackles, 5 quarterback sacks, and a pair of fumble recoveries for the 5-time Class 3A sectional champion Knights, who finished 12-2. Hunter Renner, a kicker from Mishawaka, Marion. This 6'2", 194-pound all-state and all-conference choice gave the Class 3A sectional and regional champion Knights quite a boost by converting 57 of 62 extra points, 3 of 5 field goals, and averaged 39 yards per punt. Kobe Rice, offensive line, Eastbrook. The 6'4", 305-pound all-conference and all-state standout was one of the guys responsible for the 2-time Class 2A state runner-up Panthers accumulating over 4,500 yards on the ground.
Daniel Roach from Lafayette Central Catholic.
This 5'9", 175-pound all-state and all-conference performer proved to be quite a catch for the Class 1A state champion Knights, who finished 12-3 with 79 receptions for 1,112 yards with 11 touchdowns. He also chipped in 81 tackles and 4 interceptions. Cole Sigler, defensive back from Heritage Hills. In addition to tallying 40 tackles and 8 interceptions, the 6'1", 177-pound all-conference and all-state standout was 45 of 81 for 687 yards with 9 touchdowns, and also rushed 123 times for 1,135 yards and 12 scores for the Class 3A state runner-up Patriots. Joseph Solomon, offensive line, Indianapolis Bishop Chatard. A member of the Primetime 25, the 6'5", 275-pound all-state performer paved the way for the Class 3A state champion Trojans to rack up more than 5,500 yards of offense in their 14-1 season. Andrew Sawinski, wide receiver, Indianapolis Bishop Chatard. This 5'11", 170-pound all-state choice proved to be quite a catch for the Class 3A state champion Trojans with 64 catches for 1,055 yards and 22 touchdowns. Pete Spencer, offensive line, Lafayette Central Catholic. Along with helping the Class 1A state champion Knights accumulate 4,500 yards of total offense, the 6'1", 255-pound all-state and all-conference choice also came up with 85 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 interceptions. Alex Stern, a defensive back from North Decatur. The 6'3", 185-pound all-conference, all-state, and primetime 25 selection proved to be a dual threat for the Class 1A sectional champion Chargers, who finished 11-2. He had 65 tackles and 3 interceptions, and was also 118 of 190 for 1,894 yards with 24 touchdowns, and rushed 83 times for 338 yards and 4 scores. Harrison Truitt, wide receiver, West Lafayette. This 6'4", 190-pound all-state, all-area, and all-conference performer came up with 72 receptions for 1,291 yards with 19 touchdowns for the 2018 Class 3A state champion Red Devils. Tyshawn Woods, running back, Indianapolis Cecina. The 5'11", 180-pound all-state and all-area choice rambled 187 times for 1,721 yards with 24 touchdowns and caught 12 passes for 138 yards and 1 touchdown for the 8-4 Crusaders. He also added 117 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery.
Spencer Wright, a quarterback from Western Boone. This 6'1" tall, 175-pound standout earned all-conference and all-state accolades by completing 106 of 159 passes for 1,752 yards with 24 touchdowns and rushed 83 times for 555 yards and 14 scores for the two-time Class 2A state champion Stars.
Good evening, Paul Condry here from the Regional Radio Sports Network and the Indiana Football Digest. Pleased to be with you to announce the 2020 Primetime 25 team. From Hobart High School, Bobby Babcock, the 6', 200-pound All-State, All-Conference standout, played a big role in helping the 11-3 Brickies win the Class 4A sectional and regional championship. He registered 84 tackles, including 38 for a loss, and had 15 quarterback sacks. From Northwood High School, quarterback Nate Newcomer. The 5'11", 175-pound All-Area, All-Northern Lakes Conference and IFCA Junior All-State selection has thrown for 1,188 career yards with 13 touchdowns and rushed for 1,838 career yards and 23 scores for the Panthers. In addition, he had 138 career tackles and 5 career interceptions. From Indianapolis North Central High School, playing for the Panthers, defensive back Theran Johnson. This 6', 170-pound All-Metropolitan Interscholastic Conference, AP All-State Honorable Mention, and IFCA Junior All-State Choice recorded 62 tackles, 4 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. He also hauled in 6 receptions for 147 yards with 2 touchdowns. From West Washington High School, quarterback Holden Bowsman. The 6'2", 165-pound All-Conference and All-State selection completed 67% of his attempts for 2,143 yards with 25 touchdowns and also ran for 590 yards with 12 scores for the Class 1A sectional and regional champion Senators, who finished the season at 12-2. From Ben Davis High School in Indianapolis, Daylan Carnell, wide receiver, defensive back. In addition to hauling in 23 receptions for 199 yards with a score, the 6'2", 192-pound All-State dual threat registered 33 tackles and 5 interceptions for the Class 6A sectional and regional champion Giants, who finished the season at 8-5. From Mount Vernon High School in Fortville, running back, defensive back, Rylan Cole. The 6', 185 All-State, All-Conference choice guided the Marauders to an 11-3 record and their first 4A regional championship by scampering 142 times for 950 yards with 14 touchdowns to go along with 73 tackles and 8 interceptions. From East Central High School, offensive lineman Luke Collinsworth. This 6'6", 300-pound All-State and 2-time All-Conference selection paved the way for the 2017 Class 4A state champion Trojans, 11-1, to accumulate nearly 4,000 yards of total offense. From Avon High School, offensive lineman Blake Fisher, a 2-time All-State choice, the 6'6", 340-pounder, graded out at 87% up front and played a key role in helping the Orioles to a 9-1 record as they racked up over 3,000 total yards. JoJo Johnson, Maryville High School, wide receiver, defensive back. In addition to coming up with 1,264 all-purpose yards with 20 touchdowns, this 5'11", 176-pound all-area and all-state selection also came up with 6 interceptions, 3 defensive scores, and a punt return for a tally for the Class 6A sectional and regional champion Pirates. From Valparaiso High School, Cooper Jones. This 6'5", 245-pound all-state, all-area, and all-conference performer was instrumental in helping the 5A sectional, regional, and semi-state champion Vikings reach the Final Four for the second straight season with 49 tackles, including 10.5 for loss, 7 quarterback sacks, and 2 fumble recoveries. He has verbally committed to Indiana University. From West Lafayette High School, linebacker Yanni Karloftis, a 2-time All-State, All-Conference, and All-Area selection for the 2018 Class 3A state champion Red Devils. The 6'4", 210-pounder tallied 79 tackles, including 8 for loss and 2 interception. He also hauled in 29 passes for 356 yards and 5 scores. From Lawrence North High School in Indianapolis, Donovan McCulley, quarterback. This all-conference, all-state, all-area choice was 130 for 200 for 1,831 yards passing with 17 touchdowns. He also rushed 98 times for 550 yards and 2 scores for the 4-7 Wildcats. He is verbally committed to Indiana University. Rodney McGraw, Elkhart High School defensive lineman. The All-State and 2-time All-Conference and All-Area standout came up with 73 tackles, including 21.5 for loss and 9 quarterback sacks for the Elkhart Central Blue Blazers. Tight end, defensive lineman Nick Miller, South Adams High School. In addition to being the career leader with 55 tackles for loss, 20 quarterback sacks, this 6'4", 225-pound, 3-time All-State selection also has a team best 1,709 career receiving yards for the Class 1A sectional champion Starfires, who finished the season at 12-1. From Pike High School, defensive lineman Kyran Montgomery. The 6'5", 240-pound All-State choice recorded 109 tackles, including 17 for loss and 5 quarterback sacks for the Red Devils. Carmel High School linebacker Dominic Pageant. An all-conference and all-state selection, the 5'11", 220-pound standout played a major role in the Greyhounds' 11-3 run to the 6A state championship with a team-high 102 tackles and 4 quarterback sacks. From Evansville Memorial High School, quarterback Colton Pence. The 6'2", 170-pounder earned all-conference and all-state accolades by completing 172 of 289 passes for 2,137 yards with 24 touchdowns, all the while running 78 times for 247 yards for the Class 4A state champion Tigers, who finished 13-1. Zach Richards, Mooresville High School offensive lineman, a 2-time All-State member, The 6'3", 195-pound standout played a major part in the Pioneers' 10-3 run to a second straight Class 4A sectional crown by anchoring a group which totaled almost 4,000 total yards. He is verbally committed to Purdue University. Aaron Roberts, Cardinal Ritter High School, Indianapolis, offensive and defensive lineman. The 6'4", 285-pound all-city, all-state, two-way selection came up with 33 tackles and helped the Raiders' offense roll up over 3,500 total yards. Carson Steele, Center Grove High School running back. After earning all-state and all-conference accolades and accounting for over 4,500 all-purpose yards and 56 touchdowns in his first two seasons, this 6'3", 225-pounder was limited because of an injury to 64 carries for 275 yards. He helped the Trojans to the state championship game. Aaron Steinfeld, Bloomington North High School, wide receiver. Limited to 8 games because of an injury, the 6'5", 235-pound all-state, all-area, and all-conference standout still came up with 38 catches for 547 yards and 5 scores for the Cougars. He is verbally committed to Indiana University. From Brownsburg High School, wide receiver Preston Terrell. An all-conference and all-state selection, the 6'4", 190-pounder had 52 receptions for 823 yards and 10 touchdowns for the 7-4 Bulldogs. From Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger High School, running back, linebacker Devon Tipman. Along with running 89 times for 431 yards and 12 touchdowns, this 6'1", 195-pound all-conference and all-state dual threat also tallied 106 tackles, including 13 for loss for the Class 5A sectional and regional champions Saints, who finished the year 11-2. From Fischler's High School, offensive lineman Jonah Vanderkamp, a 4-year starter for the Tigers, who finished 7-3. The 6'6", 300-pound standout registered 16 pancake blocks and helped a unit record more than 3,000 yards of total offense. From Floyd Central High School, Southern Indiana, running back Winkers Wright. The 6'2", 175-pound all-state and 2-time all-area selection rambled 231 times for 2,056 yards with 26 scores. Had a career total of 346 carries for 2,847 yards with 32 scores for the Class 5A sectional champion Highlanders, who finished the year at 9-3. Once again, we hope that you enjoyed the 2020 Griddies. It's been my pleasure to be your host. And once again, we thank you for making us a part of your evening or afternoon, whatever the case may be. Once again, we hope that you'll pick up a copy of the 2020 Indiana Football Digest or check out our catalog of other magazines and other things that we have on our respective websites, whether it be griddies.com, indianafootballdigest.com, or stories at rrsn.com. And once again, on behalf of my family to your family, let's get this 2020 football season underway. And once again, on behalf of the entire regional radio sports network and the Indiana Football Digest team, God bless you all. Semper Fidelis. Good night, everyone.